I grew up in eastern Kentucky, which at that time and even now is one of the poorest places in the U.S. I read a lot of books about science, so I ended up being a scientist. I had a career in research at Procter & Gamble, and I was on the team that originally rolled out Bounty and Charmin. And I did the research on Folgers coffee for a while. And then when P&G bought a company in Europe, I spent the last 10 years of my career in England. So I've always had an interest in putting science to work. And after I retired, I was going to College Hill Presbyterian Church, as was Allen Rainey. And he had a vision for using solar to bring practical Christianity to parts of Latin America where they wouldn't be on the grid for a long time. That really appealed to me because of the technology of solar. So I was one of the very early supporters of SonLight Power. I suppose Jane and I have been supporting SonLight Power for 25 years. And it's amazing what a solar plus battery system can do for a little clinic that needs to keep a refrigerator going, or a schoolroom that needs enough power to have light bulbs and a few computers. This makes all the difference, and it's empowering to a community. They manage keeping the batteries with water and so forth, so it's not that it's something that just sits there. They have to be involved, and that's empowering. The Campton Baptist Church I grew up in Kentucky, one of the poorest counties in the mountain, and I realized they were in financial trouble, and it was being heated and cooled with 3 obsolete heat pumps that were just more than the congregation could afford. So I helped them get a grant for geothermal, which helped a lot. So I approached SonLight Power and said, look, these people need a mission statement as much as people in Central America. And would you agree to come in and put solar on to match the geothermal? And that would be a witness to the people in the community. Pretty soon we were generating more energy than the church required. And the Weather Channel actually ran on Earth Day about 4 years ago, featured the church as being the most efficient church in the U.S. And I love the idea of a little mountain church leading the nation in terms of energy efficiency. And it made people in the community feel very proud. And we actually are doing something for mankind. Maple Knoll is sort of similar. There's a huge array of technical talent, people that have retired. There were 3 engineers and myself, a scientist. When we heard there was going to be a new building, we went to Maple Knoll and said, look, let's do something that retirement villages don't ordinarily do. Let's have it be carbon neutral, and it'd be one of the few in Cincinnati, and that would be a tremendous statement. And then I approached SonLight Power. This would be a different kind of witness. Well, there are 800 people at Maple Knoll. It would acquaint them with a way to help in mission work that they hadn't done before. I think what we've done is recruited, I hope, a few hundred supporters of SonLight Power, and they got the whole population thinking about, gee, we're as active on sustainability as anyone else, and we're doing our part. We're not just old people put on the shelf. We're going to instrument both the solar production and the geothermal operation totally, so that high school kids, college kids, even professors can go online and see such things as what's the solar production in April versus June, morning versus afternoon, and how does geothermal work? And that's sort of fun. We're showing people that a group of Christians can come in with no possibility of financial gain out of this whatsoever, and yet spend a lot of sweat, work, doing something that's going to benefit them for the next 10 years. That's Christianity in action, and people's lives are changed with that. What we feel best about over the long-term support is all the villages that we've had at least a little part in helping improve their lives and showing them a form of Christianity that's a whole lot different than just preaching at them. That's been very exciting, and it still is. We're just starting though. There's still large parts of the planet where this can be helpful, and there's more situations like here at Maple Knoll or the Campton Baptist Church where we could be effective.